This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to Talk Business and Politics Daily. It's Thursday, August 4th. Let's check out today's top stories. Retail giant Walmart is reportedly looking at a purchase of online startup Jet.com for an estimated $3 billion. That's according to the Wall Street Journal and Dow Jones Business Wires, who cited persons close to the matter. Walmart did not return a request for comment to Talk Business and Politics. Online retail experts agree that if Walmart is able to pull off such a deal, the result would likely be a huge win for Walmart.com. Talk Business and Politics' Kim Souza explains.
The U.S. retail e-commerce marketplace is pegged at about $384 billion this year. Walmart has only about 10% of that market, whereas Amazon has garnered about 69%. So analysts say the best way Walmart can make up some market share is going to be through acquisitions like Jet.com. Jet.com would do a couple of things for Walmart because first and foremost, it would take a low-price competitive threat out of the market. And it would also provide a deep bench of talent that Walmart could draw from. Talent that might have insights into an operating system akin to Amazon, one that is subscription-based. There are also some synergies between the two companies that could make for easy assimilation. The top of mind would be the everyday low price strategy that both companies have adopted.
On the earnings front, El Dorado-based Murphy USA saw its second quarter earnings jump 77%, while company officials said it will continue to focus on new store build-outs. For the period ended June 30th, the Arkansas gasoline marketer and retailer reported second quarter earnings of $46.3 million. That's compared to $26.2 million a year ago. Little Rock-based Windstream turned a $1.5 million profit in its second quarter compared to a $111 million loss a year ago. The telecom sold off all of its shares in communications sales and leasing and cut debt by nearly $700 million. More reporting at talkbusiness.net. Finally, Arkansas is one of 16 states where physician practices will participate in a Medicare payment model reimbursing physicians for providing comprehensive coordinated patient care. The federal program would allow physician practices to receive upfront performance-based incentive payments that ensure patients get preventative health screenings and have 24-hour access to the office. That money must be returned if practices don't meet certain standards. And those are your top stories of the day. You can check out a full read on those articles, plus much more, on our website at talkbusiness.net. A quick break, and we'll be joined by Steve Dodenhoff, president of Insight US, a new Fortune 500 tech firm that has located operations in Conway. Also, another round with Representatives Michelle Gray and Eddie Armstrong, plus a preview of an upcoming Sunday interview with Senator Tom Cotton. We're back after this.
First Security is here, only here. So that means we're here, here, and here. Even here. And definitely here. Because here is where we want to be for you. First Security Bank, only in Arkansas.
Arkansas's most abundant natural resource provides the core asset for Deltic Timber Corporation. In addition to the sustainable yield stewardship of its well-stocked timberlands, Deltic adds value by integrating its efficient wood products manufacturing facilities, as well as through planned development of commercial and residential real estate. Deltic Timber Corporation, creating value for a growing Arkansas.
Steve Dodenhoff is the president of Insight US, a Fortune 500 company that located in Conway earlier this week on Tuesday, announced it's going to open a sales center as well as a lot of other tech-related companies. Welcome to the program. Welcome to Arkansas.
Yeah, thank you very much, Roby. Good to be here.
Tell me in technical terms and layman's terms, exactly what does Insight do?
So from kind of a technical point of view, we're an IT solutions provider, and our business is really to help work with large enterprises, public sector, and SMB, as well as healthcare businesses leverage technology to improve their business. Our purpose is to help businesses run smarter, and so we leverage all that technology. In simple terms, we're a reseller, and we resell hardware, software, and services. And again, in simple terms, we actually put it all together so it works.
I gotcha. So tell me why Conway? What was so special about the Conway location there?
Well, as you know, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise has a large presence in Conway, and we have strategic partnerships and relationships with most of the largest OEMs and publishers in the world. And so we resell their products. And HPE was looking to transition some of their business and afforded us an opportunity to get involved in Conway and actually go in there and take up residence and establish a beachhead there.
Yeah, it's a nice space.
You know what, it's a beautiful space, and the community did a wonderful job with the building. So we were lucky enough to be a part of that, and just recently onboarded 175 teammates.
So what all will they be doing there, the 175?
The teammates are going to continue to do what they were doing previously under HPE. So HPE in this area sells data center products to that same segment of customers, public sector, large commercial, SMB, and we're just going to take it over and do it on behalf of HPE. So we're a reseller today, and they'll, instead of be selling on behalf of an OEM, HPE, they'll be doing it on behalf of one of HPE's largest resellers, which is Insight.
And plans for expansion. You would have obviously a nice pipeline of university graduates from a coding academy at UCA to a couple of colleges there in Conway.
Yeah, you know, so we got involved in Conway maybe February, March, and I got introduced to the university systems, met a lot of the people, just really impressed with the community, with the talent, the level of education, the concentration of the universities in the area, and so we see it as a great opportunity for us to not only build on what we have, but invest here so we can keep adding talent to help us grow our business on a national level.
I did my homework and read your latest earnings report, because I don't think your second quarter's out yet, but your first quarter is.
Yeah.
So we're no market moving information today.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the North American business has disappointed you guys. You guys mentioned in your first quarter earnings statement there. What's happening in the marketplace, and how does this facility maybe change that dynamic?
Well, there are a couple of things. You know, we have had very, very strong performance over the last, I would say, 6 to 8 quarters. North America in Q1 did disappoint us, and that was clear. You'll see our earnings release coming up tomorrow, and we're excited. In general, we have a big piece of our business which is in the large enterprise space, and these are large clients buying typically large volumes, and sometimes that can be cyclical. And so what's important about Conway is to a large degree that focus is going to be in the middle market, the SMB marketplace. Our ability to grow our business profitably is a little bit more consistent in that space, and so adding 200 sellers to keep working on that maybe just balances out some of the dynamics of, in some cases, serving a real large enterprise client base.
You still got to be looking right over the horizon too, because technology changes so much. Your customers' needs change so quickly. How difficult is it to kind of keep up with that adaptability and just keeping, you know, your pulse in the right place?
Maybe 2 comments. One, about Conway in particular. A lot of the change in technology today is around data center technology. People are trying to figure out how best to leverage cloud and cloud capabilities, and so Conway and the capability there is all around the data center space. So number one, keeping up with that is a function of getting great talent who's willing to learn, willing to get certified, willing to stay ahead of the curve, and we really picked up a great capability with that. So that's one. And secondly, we have really strategic relationships with all our key OEMs, and we spend a lot of time with our clients understanding what they're worried about, and that's our role, is to keep investing and trying to stay a little bit ahead. We have 3,500 teammates in the U.S., and we do spend a lot of time making sure that we're advancing our capabilities so we can make it a little bit easier for our clients to run their businesses, and we'll go ahead and help them with the technology to run their businesses smarter.
All right, Steve Dodenhoff with Insight US. Great to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Arkansas once again.
Yeah,
so
happy to
look
be
forward to
here.
having more conversations with you.
Great, thank you.
When we come back, we are going to sit down with Representative Michelle Gray, Representative Eddie Armstrong. They have been in their respective party conventions in Philadelphia and Cleveland. We'll find out what's on their mind right after this.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
As Arkansas's population grows, so do our energy demands. But with the right mix of resources, reliable, affordable power will always be a reality. These resources are all around us in our rivers, blowing through our trees, even right below our feet. The answer isn't focusing on one resource, it's embracing them all. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas know that a balanced approach to power builds our communities and powers our dreams. Visit themixmatters.com and see why there's power in knowledge.
We continue our conversation on the state of the presidential race, but we're going to turn our attention to Arkansas in this segment. Representatives Michelle Gray and Eddie Armstrong are our guests. Welcome. Good to have you both. Let's talk about how Trump is playing in Arkansas. Let's talk about how Hillary Clinton is playing in Arkansas. Representative Gray, I'm going to come to you first. It's been a tough week for Donald Trump. There's been a lot of headlines. They have not all been positive. How is that affecting, do you think, voters in Arkansas?
Based on what I see and the people that I talk to, I don't think it affects them that much. I mean, some of what comes out on him is not the best. We've also got, Secretary Clinton, who's they just go back and forth, I think, as to who's got the spotlight one week. But majority, as we've watched over the last 4 presidential cycles, we've watched that Republican number come up and up and up, and we expect us to be in the upper 60s. Nearing 70% Republican in the state. So I don't see it.
You're talking about for the Trump turnout here in Arkansas.
Yes,
yeah. I think Mitt Romney hit 60.
He was over 60, yeah. So we expect it to be quite a bit. I don't see it affecting him that much.
Do you still say
everything rolls
Arkansas
off
goes
him?
Trump pretty easily?
Oh, yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right, Representative Armstrong. It has been a good week if you're a Hillary Clinton supporter because Donald Trump has had some struggling headlines, but Mrs. Clinton has had her fair share, and there's a promise that there could be more from what the WikiLeaks founders have been saying is coming out. So where do you think Arkansas is in competition?
Well, I think it's still too early to call, and it's surprising, but I have to admire my Republican colleagues' gumption to say that they're still aiming for 70%, considering the toll that we're taking as a country right now. I mean, Representative Gray is a parent, and I'm a parent of a new 3-month-old little boy, and I can't imagine a day that my son will be waking up to the news of continuous bombastic talk like Donald Trump is continuously displaying right now to divide us as a country, to divide them as a party. And looking back to the past election cycles, when things were a little bit stronger, I could see how 60, 70% were wise choices to make. But I think it's any person's race right now. I really think it's about, once again, in a state like ours where the needs are too great and the numbers are vastly smaller than other states, that we have to take it back to real community needs, creating jobs, making certain that there's a workforce out there that can be hired and that they're skill force and trained to be able to receive these jobs. And I don't think that with Donald Trump you're seeing that. I think Secretary Clinton, she's going to have maybe more problems come up, but she's had problems since she was the wife of the governor,
years, really.
The Secretary of State. And I'd soon say that hopefully some of that battle testing that has been the mantra of her campaign and her real lifestyle will continue to shine, and she can step above that and take some of the party stuff out of it and really get back to the people. I think our state's missing that, but that's what they voted for when they put Asa Hutchinson in office. I think that that's what they voted for when they represented and elected Michelle Gray. And I'm not certain that that's what Donald Trump represents for the Republican Party, but I know for certain that's what Hillary Clinton represents when she talks about creating a new day for America.
He went a lot longer than you. I'm going to give you a chance to
Can I
rebut.
respond
Yes,
to
please.
that?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
appreciate it. Well, and Hillary talks about creating a new day for America, but then she also, in the same breath, says she's going to continue the current policies under President Obama. So a little bit of contradiction there. as far as what she actually is or isn't going to do. And that's one of the things that everyone loves about Trump is he's a business owner. He's been around. He knows how the system works from the outside, not because he created it, but because he's functioned from the outside. And so a lot of the things that Trump is accused of or whatever it is that he's done, the Republican Party feels is nothing in comparison to what Secretary Clinton has done, and that she honestly should be in prison at this point in time.
Are you going to start chanting "lock her up"?
Lock
right
her
here
up
on the set. Are you going to let her get away with that?
No, but I mean, a lot of the things that she has done and openly admitted to doing are worse than like Watergate.
And that's what we got to get away from is the D.C. in Arkansas. Lock her up. I mean, for crying out loud, let's be honest and let's be truthful for a moment.
But if you follow the law.
If you think about what they did to a great lady like Blanche Lincoln to continuously associate her with somebody like President Obama, then lost the race for our great state. No offense to Senator Bozeman, but we are now in a new day and age where if you want to have yourself tied to a man like Donald Trump, then my sister, so be it. But I'd warn you to caution to that and stay true to what I think the people I know you know better than I do what the people of Melbourne want, like I know what the people of North Little Rock want. And at the end of the day, that's good paying jobs, that's access to good health care, that's making certain that they can get up and get a livable wage to go to work and make certain that they can pay their taxes, which makes the Arkansas economy stronger. And we've got to get away from the D.C. style of politics, lock her up or
let's
whatever
talk about
you want
that
to
for a little
say.
bit there, because we have not seen the nationalization of the Arkansas legislature like we see obviously playing out in the presidential race here. You guys are still able to go have a beer, a glass of wine after a hard day of work at the Capitol there. You're still able to be very collegial with each other and friendly. Why is it different at the state legislative level than it is at the national level? Why do you think that?
You know, I really don't know, but we still have the respect. I'm not sure if they still have that at the DC level, but I respect him, I respect his opinions, and I respect what his constituents want, the same as he does with me. And a lot of times, I actually came into the legislature very, very far right, and I'm still fairly far right, but I do understand that sometimes you have to give and take in order to accomplish something. And so for me, one of the biggest things has been just sitting down with him and saying, hey, let's talk about this issue, because I know that we both want the same thing. There's different ways to get there. Right. Let's see how we can make this work. So for me, it's about respect.
I think we still operate in a pre-C-SPAN type of age
we
here
do.
in Arkansas. No cameras, no lights, but even with the cameras and lights, she's absolutely right. In committee, there's no problem for us to slide up next to each other and take a good look at a piece of legislation, find out what we like and don't like about it, and try to either come to a compromise or say, hey, I'm not going to be with you on this, and it may not make you happy. But here's the real point that I want to highlight that she just mentioned. When she did come in, along with several of her colleagues that were very far to the right and maybe adopting the Tea Party mantra, what we are starting to see now is far right off the cliff with Donald Trump. And I think we need to move back to a right of center type of governing style in our state. To her point, the needs are too great. The towns and citizens in our communities are way too small. And if we can pull together and make things work for Arkansas with our governor, with our senators, with our legislatures in the House, then the people in Washington should be able to take a note from that. But without that being the case, as we continue to look at all things local, I'd soon say that Democrats have got to get out, speak the story of truth, start to talk about less of the scare tactics and the divisiveness of the Republican Party, and what we can begin to do to continue to do what me and Michelle do on a day-to-day basis, and that's work for the betterment of our state.
If you work hard enough, I think you could get him to campaign for Asa Hutchinson. I think that's what I just heard in between the lines
I
there.
might could. And if you don't mind, I'd like to respond. This is the second time he's brought up the divisiveness of the Republican Party. It's been the Obama administration for the past 7 years that's brought us to the racial tensions that we have throughout the country right now. So I find it, nothing against you, but the Democrats the national Democrats like to paint the Republicans as being divisive, when in reality, we want to fix the unraveling that's happened in this country in the last 7 years.
We didn't put Obama on the door tags with every candidate that was running for office. We didn't call everybody and say, are you voting for Obama? And if you vote for Obama, we're going to take your guns, we're going to ruin the country. We didn't say that Obamacare was the worst thing we've ever had in America. Ironically, we have a great thing called Arkansas Works that morphed out of the private option. None of that came out of the Democratic Party. Those are Republican divisive tactics. And now look, we've got Arkansas Works. We've got a very good functioning legislature. A lady that was far right said that she came closer to the middle after getting in the legislature and realizing that following her speaker, my friend Jeremy Gillum, that, hey, we have to govern for the people of our state. We cannot be Washington-style politicians and renegades to divide us. I think we've done a good job there. The man has done the best job that he can in the 8 years that he's been there, but I'd soon say that it wasn't our party that went out and spread this message that our country is broken and it's divided. Hence is why you have Donald Trump saying, let's make America great again. But what's broken?
And I'm not going to speak for you, but it's clear that the Republicans feel that that has happened, that there has been brokenness to certain things from a policy perspective.
And I can agree with that there has probably been. But to blame the Democrats for that is asinine. I think it's a two-way street that we both have to look at both parties.
Step on in there. I was just responding because you were blaming the Republicans for it, so I was just letting you know that there are always two sides to the story,
Absolutely.
and I think it's both sides. I don't believe that you believe everything that's in that Democratic Party platform as well. I don't believe you believe fully in abortion. I don't believe you believe in all these issues that are in that platform, and there are probably a few in the Republican platform that I don't agree with. Disagreeing is beautiful. That's what our country, one of the founding things, freedom of speech. It's not, and that's what we see in all the media reporting when they report exactly what our current administration wants them to report.
Sure.
We feel that the media, and it was actually joked about at the Republican convention about.
After me now?
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm giving you guys a forum to have this lovely conversation, and you're killing me on time. But it's all my fault.
I'm sorry.
It's all my fault. No, it's good. Representative Armstrong, Representative Gray, I appreciate y'all very much. We'll carry this conversation on off camera and maybe even across the street at Samantha's Tap Room. How about that?
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Thank y'all for being here. A word from our sponsors and a preview of my upcoming interview with Senator Tom Cotton. More when we come back.
Circuits turn on the lights by making a connection, by closing the loop. At Entergy, we believe our economy is circular too. What you put in comes back. So we invest billions in new infrastructure, which helps attract new industry, which helps create new jobs. We partner with local communities to electrify the economy, and together we power life. Entergy.
You've likely heard of the Great Arkansas Treasure Hunt. In fact, you or your business may have property to claim in the hunt. But where does this treasure come from? Businesses like yours. The law calls it unclaimed property. If your business is holding money on its books that you've not been able to return to the owner, it's most likely unclaimed property, and the law requires it to be sent to the state auditor's office each year. Auditor Andrea Lee's office can make the process for businesses to comply with the law easy and straightforward. Help us help you return Arkansans' unclaimed property at auditor.ar.gov.
Senator Tom Cotton was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2014. He had a high-profile role at the Republican convention in Cleveland a few weeks ago. I sat down with him to discuss the state of the presidential race for this Sunday's Talk Business and Politics program. All right, let's shift gears and talk about just some pure politics here. A week, quite frankly, an hour does not go by without Donald Trump making some sort of headline here and there. A few of them this week. He's fought with a slain soldier's family. You've commented on that. He's questioned NATO. He's offered praise to Russian leaders. He's claimed that the elections are going to be rigged. He's not endorsed John McCain or Paul Ryan. Is the Donald Trump campaign going in the right direction in your estimation?
Well, just based on that litany of stories, it's not. Here's what we should have focused on in the last week. Last Friday, we had a new economic growth report that confirmed that the Obama-era economy will be the weakest economy since World War II. On Sunday, Hillary Clinton lied about the lies that she told about her email server. And on Tuesday, we learned that the Obama administration had paid $400 million in ransom for hostages. Those are the issues that should be driving the debates in the presidential campaign and in Senate races all around the country. And Donald Trump would be well advised to get back to the issues that Americans actually care about, not going off on tangents and offending some of the people who have sacrificed the most for this country.
That's Senator Tom Cotton. His full interview will be on this weekend's edition of Talk Business and Politics, and there's much more to it, so be sure to tune in. That's all for today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. Thank you for watching. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.